Imagine this. You're standing face to face with a Neanderthal. Both of you are fighting for survival in an unforgiving Ice Age world, yet only one of you makes it to the other side of history. Why? The answers aren't what you think. Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking reasons why their entire species vanished into the shadows of time. Number 8. Competition with Homo sapiens. When it comes to survival, Homo sapiens and Neanderthals often found themselves in direct competition. Both groups navigated the same harsh Ice Age landscapes, but their approaches were different. Neanderthals relied on their physical strength and endurance, while Homo sapiens brought adaptability and innovation to the table. Over time, these differences played a crucial role in determining which group would thrive. One major advantage for Homo sapiens was their ability to form larger, more connected social groups. While Neanderthals typically hunted in groups of a few dozen, Homo sapiens often banded together in communities of up to 150 people. This allowed them to share resources, exchange ideas, and coordinate complex hunting strategies. Their advanced tools, ranging from specialized spears to tailored clothing, helped them adapt to changing conditions. In contrast, Neanderthals used Mousterian tools, which showed less variety over thousands of years. Even though both species were skilled hunters, these subtle differences in technology and social organization gave Homo sapiens a clear edge. It's also worth noting that while domesticated dogs would later become important hunting partners, the earliest evidence of dogs appears after Neanderthals had already disappeared. So the real advantage lay in how Homo sapiens worked together and adapted to new challenges. But even with these strengths, survival depended on more than just competition. Sometimes, the world itself changed the rules. Number 7. Climate and environmental change. Climate and environmental change brought challenges Neanderthals could not have anticipated. Around 40,000 years ago, rapid climate swings swept across Europe and Asia, transforming familiar forests into cold, dry steppes. These sudden shifts, known as Danskard-Oeschger events, made ecosystems unstable and unpredictable. Neanderthals, who depended on dense woodlands filled with large herbivores, faced shrinking habitats and a sharp decline in food sources. As plant and animal life dwindled, their options grew fewer and their survival became more precarious. One event stands out: the Campanian Ignimbrite eruption, which took place near present-day Naples about 39,280 years ago. This massive volcanic explosion covered vast areas in ash, disrupting plant growth and wiping out many of the animals Neanderthals relied on. Sediments from Mezmaiskaya cave show a dramatic collapse in prey populations after the eruption, signaling a turning point for the Neanderthals. In other regions, like southern Iberia, the spread of treeless steppe during Heinrich Event 4 further reduced their chances, as familiar landscapes vanished. These relentless environmental pressures didn't just make life harder, they also forced Neanderthal groups into smaller, more isolated populations. Number 6. Small population size and inbreeding. Small population size and inbreeding posed a hidden threat to Neanderthals. With effective population sizes estimated between 3,000 and 12,000, they faced a constant risk of genetic drift and harmful mutations. Genetic studies reveal that Neanderthals had much lower genetic diversity than modern humans, making them especially vulnerable to disease and unable to adapt quickly to changing environments. In some groups, like those at El Cedron, researchers have found direct evidence of inbreeding, including pairings between half-siblings and even between uncles and nieces. These close family pairings increase the chances of passing on detrimental genetic traits. This genetic bottleneck meant that when Neanderthals encountered new illnesses or environmental stress, their limited gene pool offered little protection. Disease could sweep through a group with devastating speed, and without new genetic material, recovery was unlikely. Harmful mutations accumulated over generations, further weakening their resilience. While small group size and inbreeding made Neanderthals vulnerable, there was another process at play, one that would leave a lasting mark on the story of our own species. Number 5. Genetic absorption via interbreeding. Genetic absorption through interbreeding played a major role in the fate of the Neanderthals. When early modern humans and Neanderthals met, they didn't just compete, they mixed. Genetic studies show that about 2 to 3% of the DNA in any individual non-African today comes from Neanderthals. When you combine all these fragments across the global population, roughly 20% of the Neanderthal genome still exists, scattered in small pieces among us. The transfer of genes wasn't a balanced exchange. Most gene flow moved from Neanderthals into modern humans. Over time, as Neanderthal individuals joined larger Homo sapiens groups, their distinct population grew smaller and less separate. This gradual blending may have pushed Neanderthal numbers below the point where they could recover as a unique group. Some Neanderthal genes proved useful for their new hosts. Genes like OAS1 and TLR6, for example, help fight off infections by strengthening the immune system. Others may have helped modern humans adapt to colder climates or new diets. Yet as these genes spread, the Neanderthal identity faded, leaving only traces behind. But genetic mixing wasn't the only thing exchanged between these ancient groups. When two populations meet, they don't just share genes, they can also share something far more dangerous. Number 4, disease transmission from Homo sapiens. The theory that disease transmission played a key role in Neanderthal extinction is gaining support. When Homo sapiens moved into Neanderthal territories, they brought with them a suite of pathogens that Neanderthals had never encountered. Modern humans, having evolved in tropical regions with a higher disease burden, had developed some tolerance to these illnesses. Neanderthals, on the other hand, lacked immunity to this new pathogen package. For small, isolated Neanderthal groups, even a single outbreak could have catastrophic effects, especially given their limited genetic diversity. History offers a stark comparison. When Europeans arrived in the Americas, diseases like smallpox and measles devastated indigenous populations who had no previous exposure. For Neanderthals, the arrival of Homo sapiens may have triggered a similar wave of epidemics, wiping out entire communities before they could adapt. Even common viruses could become deadly under these conditions. Some researchers, like British paleoanthropologist Simon Underdown, have speculated about specific scenarios, such as the possibility of a Kuru-like prion disease spreading through cannibalistic practices. While this remains only a hypothesis, the broader point stands. Novel diseases could have tipped the balance against Neanderthals. But disease wasn't the only challenge they faced. When it came to day-to-day survival, Neanderthals also had to rely on the tools and technology at their disposal. Number 3, technological inferiority. Technological inferiority shaped the fate of Neanderthals in ways that went far beyond simple tool use. Their Mousterian toolkit, though reliable, showed technological inertia. It changed little over thousands of years. This stability became a drawback as the environment shifted and new challenges emerged. In comparison, Homo sapiens developed the culturally dynamic Aurignacian toolkit, which included a wide variety of blades, projectiles, and specialized tools. These innovations allowed them to hunt from a distance, target different kinds of prey, and adapt quickly to changing conditions. Homo sapiens also introduced other advances, like tailored clothing made from animal hides, which provided better protection in colder climates. Mastery of fire expanded their diets and helped them survive in harsh environments. Even the division of labor within their groups, where different people specialized in different tasks, made resource extraction more efficient. As the technological gap widened, Neanderthals found themselves at a growing disadvantage. Even small differences in innovation and adaptability could have far-reaching effects over generations. But sometimes, survival isn't just about what you can invent or build, it's about whether your community can grow and endure from one generation to the next. Number 2, lower fertility and high infant mortality. One challenge that set Neanderthals apart was their struggle to maintain healthy population numbers. Studies suggest they faced lower fertility rates and higher infant mortality compared to Homo sapiens. Even a subtle change had big consequences. Demographic models show that just a 4% drop in fertility among young Neanderthal women could have led to extinction within 10,000 years. This kind of slow decline doesn't make headlines, but over generations, it can quietly erase an entire species. Infant mortality added to the pressure. While modern hunter-gatherers also experience high infant mortality, their larger, more diverse populations can recover. For Neanderthals, whose genetic diversity was already low, each loss hit harder. Research based on skeletal remains points to frequent childhood deaths, with some sites indicating that as many as 1 in 3 Neanderthal children didn't survive past infancy. Combine this with the constant struggle for food and shelter in a harsh Ice Age climate, and the odds of long-term survival dropped even further. These compounding stresses didn't just strain families, they shaped the fate of entire communities, leaving Neanderthals ever more vulnerable to the next challenge. Number 1. Weak social networks and isolation. Connection shaped more than just daily life for Neanderthals, it influenced their very survival. Neanderthals typically lived in small, isolated groups of about 12 to 22 individuals. This meant fewer opportunities to cooperate, share new ideas, or exchange resources with neighboring bands. When challenges arose, their limited social networks made it harder to adapt or innovate quickly. In contrast, Homo sapiens formed groups that could reach up to 150 people. These larger communities allowed for more complex cooperation, the rapid spread of innovations, and stronger support during hard times. Eco-cultural niche modeling shows that while Neanderthal habitats shrank as they struggled to move and adapt, Homo sapiens were able to exploit wider territories thanks to their social connectivity. The ability to share knowledge and resources across greater distances gave modern humans a crucial edge. Isolation didn't just limit cultural exchange, it also restricted genetic diversity, making Neanderthals more vulnerable to disease and environmental change. When every challenge demands flexibility and cooperation, the size and strength of your social network can decide your fate. Neanderthal extinction was the result of many overlapping challenges, not just a single cause. Competition with Homo sapiens for food and territory, rapid climate swings, and shrinking habitats all played a part. Small, isolated groups made Neanderthals vulnerable to inbreeding and disease. While interbreeding left traces of their DNA in us, it also diluted their population over time. One factor stands out among these: disease transmission. Neanderthals' low genetic diversity left them defenseless against new illnesses brought by modern humans. This silent killer may have tipped the balance more than any battle or storm. Knowing how disease shaped their fate, would your community survive such a hidden threat? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe as we explore more hidden chapters of the human story.